call this meeting to order. Begin with the roll call for attendance. We're not seeing Kayla yet, so we'll hold off and circle back. Fred, are you present?
I think so.
He says yes. Nora?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Dusty?
Yes.
Melissa?
Yes.
And we knew Patrick would be absent. Can we get a motion to approve the absences of Kayla and Patrick? Obviously, if Kayla arrives still, then we'll change that.
Motion to approve.
And a second?
Second.
Thank you. Are there any adjustments to the agenda before we move to adopt?
No, I can't think of any.
All right, then can we get a movement for that?
Move to approve.
And a second.
I'll second.
Thank you. The agenda as passed out originally is approved for this evening. Moving on to approval of minutes from October and November. If anyone had things they'd like to point out.
I have some corrections for my portion of the October agenda, or notes rather. There is a sentence that says, "I'm very volunteer," I think is what it says. If that could be changed to, "I'm a very active volunteer." And this is in section F, applicant reviews for Dusty Morton. Also, if we could strike, "I am working on the Scotts Mill project as well." That may be misplaced, but that was not me.
I think that was probably under Melissa. I wanted to note in October E3 that says Dr. Evans Cutlers for attendees of the grave cleaning, and it's Dr. Evan Kutzler, Kutzler, apostrophe S. Since he may be involved in our proceedings, we should probably get his name right. And he has a presentation at the library soon about Pioneer Cemetery.
It should be tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Do you know the time?
I think it was 6.
At the library, Van Dusen room.
I could double check that real quick.
Also in October, after F1B, the candidate reviews, there's a paragraph from Fred about the Murphy Darden exhibit. Can we add a number 2 if we're keeping it there, or move it up into reports as number 5 at the end? Either way.
I was wrong. It's 6:30 tomorrow.
Thank you. Anybody else have notes on the minutes from the previous 2 months? If there are none, we need a motion to approve, please, as amended.
I move that minutes be approved as amended.
That was a motion from Fred, and a second.
I second.
Thank you. Brings us to D, public comments. Pam, it looks like you're only our attendee out there. I don't know if the mic's on.
One second, Pam. Sorry, I do just want to make sure the mic is on. Is your button on, Kyle?
Do I press the red one?
Give it a shot. Let's just see what happens. Try it again. No, Pam.
Testing?
There we go.
There we go. I just wanted to remind everyone that our annual statewide conference is going to be held in Sault Ste. Marie in mid-May 2025. And I have a note here to send you all a link to the program as soon as it's published, and I will do that. Number two, it looks as though you will be having a planning meeting for your January 2025 meeting, or in place of or at the same time as. And I would like to just pose a question for consideration between now and then. I have believed for a long time that this commission has a role to play in an equity-based preservation program for the city of Kalamazoo. And there are now a couple of good examples of where that has been done in the country. The most recent of which I believe is Austin, Texas. And I'm going to try to pull together some materials to share with everyone. I plan on being at that meeting and would love to have some conversation at that point, if possible. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pam. I don't read about other states probably as much as I should, but LA did a remarkable job of making up a variety of context statements for different ethnicities and subcultures inside of LA that I thought was remarkable. And they, it was done by looking at these different kind of minorities, but it was also done by looking at the geographic areas that they inhabited within LA. So it was a really fascinating set of studies. Saying it's a study would be an understatement because it's a massive research project that they underwent. And I think that it's something that we could all look at to maybe aspire towards as well. So,
Are there any other public comments submitted previously?
they were not.
All right, moving on then to reports E. First, we have the financial report. Big spreadsheets.
I just love doing my reports. So yeah, we can just, I need to zoom in to look at everything. I think that we've hopefully continued to get our handle on everything. I'm going to kind of start with the budget, and then we can look at the expenditure. And, hopefully folks have already looked at it and we're following along, but in the city accounts, we have $1,259 left and 75 cents. I include both of these so that we can see all the money that we spent up to this point. If you guys see anything that jumps out to you that you want to talk about, please let me know and we can certainly discuss it.
That would bring us to the nameplate thing I was questioning.
Yeah, so before the meeting, Kyle was asking about the fact that, I guess it's twofold really. He noticed that I was making you guys new paper nameplates, which is interesting because HDC has actual placards that they have. We had a new HDC member come on recently, and it looks like their placards come out of the HPC fund. I think that this is, again, a vestige of there's not been a distinction between the two for so long, between HPC and HDC, so the general historic fund is where things get pulled out of. I can certainly talk to folks about it. I think it would also just be, I don't know if it'd be more sustainable or not, just to get placards for you guys. I'm open to suggestions. It would save paper, I think, and tape. Kind of expensive they look like, though. So I can certainly talk to the folks in billing about that, just to understand. I was not aware of it, so. Any other questions?
I don't see any.
Okay.
So we're done with the financial report?
Mm-hmm.
All right, moving on to the O'Connor Fund report submitted by Pam.
Do you want to do any reading on this, Pam, or do you want me to? Okay. I do want to echo that I'm very proud of what we've accomplished as well. I did get over, and I don't know why I didn't see it. Maybe it didn't go out yet, but I did get the press release out for the grants to Neil. He sent it up to Mike Smith, who's the communications manager with the city. He made like some minor edits. I think mostly it was like taking out sick here and there in the text that you guys wrote up. Looks like it was going to go out, but I haven't seen it go out yet, so we'll see when it does go out. But they had it all formatted and everything and ready to go, so it should be going out soon, I would hope. That'd be kind of a nice holiday time thing to have go out as well. So just want to let you guys know that I did get that taken care of and that it's hopefully on its way. Any other questions about kind of the report that Pam sent up? Thank you, of course, Pam, for writing it and sending it along.
Feels nice to check things off.
It does, and I mean, I think it's a perfect segue because it's all the same thing. But I got a call from the Kalamazoo Community Foundation a couple, I don't know, 2 weeks ago maybe. And I was just saying that, again, I think it's huge that over the past 3 years, since I've been here, we've given $35,000 roughly back to the community, which I think is huge. I don't think other community, historic preservation commissions and communities get to do that. So I think that we're so lucky to be able to have the opportunity to support preservation, put money where our mouth is, and do it in a way that's not necessarily traditional as well. The phone call did come up because they said that they caught something. We need to start having the money come to the city and not dispersing it directly to the recipients of the awards. I don't think that that's going to be a big deal. It's just going to be some arranging that I need to do internally with the city to understand where it goes within the city. And I'm just being transparent with you guys to let you know that they told me this. It shouldn't change anything for us. It's just something that they noticed, that we don't have the kind of account that can have the monies go directly to the recipient. It needs to go through the city first, and then we can disperse it to the recipient. That being said, our fund representative or what have you from the Kalamazoo Community Foundation said that she would be more than happy to come and speak at one of our meetings in the future. I was speaking with Pam on the phone about this, and I don't know if that'd be something that we want to do at the January meeting, as we have a planning session planned then, or if we want to look at maybe February. I know that we have a lot of new faces on the commission right now. We had someone come in this year, but I don't think most of you were here when the Kalamazoo Community Foundation folks came in, so it might be a good opportunity to give everyone a refresher, and then the new folks a more in-depth understanding of what the Kalamazoo Community Foundation is, what they do, and how this fund works. Don't want to put you guys on the spot. We don't need an answer today, but maybe email me, by middle of next week so we can start to understand if we think that that'd be too much for the planning session, and if we want to move it to February, or if we think that that would be an okay presentation to have at the January meeting as well.
Pam?
Yeah, will you speak into the mic, please? Thank you.
I would like to respectfully request that precautionary measures be taken to protect those funds once they come from the foundation, particularly in light of what I just heard about someone taking money out of the Preservation Commission's account to pay for plaques.
And it was for an HDC one, but I'm not trying to disregard what you said at all. And I think, like we spoke about on the phone as well, I'd like to get a line item that's set up then in the budget that is specifically to be used. Who knows what we would call it? And I don't want to get into the semantics of naming things here, but I think it would be something like this is the transfer line item, so the money would go straight into the transfer line, and then we would use that money to be transferred out to give to the community, right?
Yeah. That would make me feel a lot more comfortable. Thank you.
Exactly, I agree. And then we wouldn't have to wonder, how much have we dealt with? We would know, and it would be completely dedicated to that.
Yeah. Thanks.
That does bring us then to the fund summary. So the money was taken out, it looks like this time, for our grants that we were giving out. That's in O'Connor 2. So starting with O'Connor 1, in December we have $70,959.80, which is down about $2,000, but I don't think there's anything to fret about that. And our spendable is down a little bit, but that has to do with, in O'Connor 1, with the monies that we spent on the KNAC training facility. In O'Connor 2, we have $437,000, $408.14, which is down from $458. But again, I don't think that's any reason to fret. And you can see in the current available balance that it's down about the $15,000 that align with the money that we spent making our grants. Anyone have any questions?
Doesn't look like it. If I remember correctly, the Community Foundation presentation was like 15, 20 minutes maybe, so I think it would be fine to include in January if that's all right with everyone. And it might help inform our planning process since we're sort of reestablishing all of our subcommittees and what we're focused on.
Okay. So, I mean, I'll reach out to...
If it can be arranged in time.
Yeah, I think that it certainly can be. I think that we have time. So I'll reach out and let them know that.
Very good. And then that's still an open meeting, so it's fine that it's not recorded, right? So.
Yeah, we will be in the other room. I did get that one booked. But that one won't be recorded like this one is, but it is, yes, an open meeting.
All right, moving on then to the City Hall Local Historic District Report E3, also from Pam. Anything else to add besides what was submitted? Nope. Trying to remember, I read this earlier. Can't really see it. Do we know, is it official who the new deputy city manager is?
I haven't seen anything yet, no.
Okay. All right, we'll move on then for now. Brings us to discussion and action items. Looks like you have a schedule of all of our meetings for next year, just for saving the dates.
Yeah, and I haven't done this in the past, but it sounds like this is something they want us to do. If you guys can like kind of vote and approve this in, then I'll send it along to the clerk's office. These are, again, just the second Wednesdays of each month, so nothing's changing with that, as long as I've gotten everything correct. I want to not do that sometimes, but I double-checked them, so all these dates should be correct.
So will the January 8th meeting be a planning session
Yes,
instead of a meeting or both?
in place of.
Okay.
Tentatively reserved the room over there, I think, for 3 hours, but
Guess that's a good heads up. Is there any feedback, or can we get a motion to approve, I suppose? Sticking to the schedule as planned.
Motion to approve the 2025 schedule.
And a second.
Second.
Thank you. Anything else on that?
no, I don't think so. Again, I think it's really just a formality. You guys all have it now, so you can put it all on your calendars and stuff too, but there's nothing crazy to be said about this, I hope.
Okay. Then that brings us to the coordinator's report. What do you have for us?
Not a lot. What a quick meeting we've had. You know, a big thing, I guess, is just about a big one is I want to let you guys know that we were going to have that planning session. I know a couple of us knew. We have the planning sessions in there, so it's more of a round table feel than a half moon dais feel. I think it's easier to actually do the planning in that, and I've been told many times that it's easier to do the planning at the table. I'll send out the existing work plan in preparation for that so everyone can look over it, and then we'll also just have it at the meeting so we can go over and see what's working, what's not working. I know we have a lot of new people, but I think that more senior members can say that it's not anything too crazy. I don't think it's anything to be worried about going into it. It's just a good opportunity to be able to workshop things for the next year. We have the reviews here, which are, I think, on track for other years. Someone already brought up that tomorrow Evan Kutzler is having the discussion about Southwest Nidge Park / West Street Cemetery at 6:30 p.m. at Central Library. I think it'll be a good talk, so if you're able to go, be a good opportunity. Fred, you were talking about Jacob Pinney Johnson's talk, I think, on this in February or January, correct?
Right. He spoke to our group a few months ago, Jacob Penny Johnson.
Yep.
He's going to give a lecture at the library up in the Van Dusen room February 6th. I've got some library flyers on it if you would like one. Talking about Kalamazoo's Black heritage, Black history. Good opportunity to hear some undertold stories that are in Kalamazoo's history. It's in this flyer. I'll just pass it on down. 2, 4. It's on page 5.
Those are good free opportunities to learn about local history.
I don't know if you want one, Pam. I've got one if you do. Okay.
It's pretty much all that I have as we wrap up another year. Just thank you guys all for volunteering your time, coming to these meetings and volunteering your energy to make this all work. I think that we've made huge strides this year. I know I've kind of harped on it quite a lot or sounded like a broken record, but I think that we've made it's been huge to be able to make the grants that we've made this year, and it's been a couple years in the making, you know, Pam, to get to where we were. So I'm glad that we were actually able to finally pull it off this time, and I hope that we can continue to do that in the future. And I think that we're in a great place with this commission, understanding what we want our direction to be moving forward. We have people that are being very mindful of how we can continue to spend our money. We have people very mindful of what we want to do to be able to dig into more of the diverse stories that Pam was talking about. So I have very good feelings about what we're gonna do, I guess, next year and where we're gonna be headed. So I just want to extend thank yous to all of you guys, and I hope you guys have a great holiday season as we slide into the end of the year. So thank you.
Thank you. But you closed, it was segueing into something I wanted to say, so can I back up before here?
Yeah.
You had a good conclusion to the meeting right there. I hate to throw this in there, but at a meeting we had a couple months ago, Kayla brought up, is there anything we can do for the 250th birthday of the United States? What is that called? What kind of centennial? You had it down, Louise.
Semi-quincentennial. Semi-quincentennial.
Semi-quincentennial in 2026. And I'd like to start one of the balls rolling towards that. I'm sure other groups or the library or other groups might be thinking about that in advance, but what I thought could be done is to see how many people would like to contribute to writing an article about undertold stories of Kalamazoo. And if we get enough participation, we can maybe put that in a booklet or something where there'd be 10 or 12 writers document their little short history of undertold stories. You've had experience, Pam, with putting a book together. You did a book, and you and Lynn, I don't know, it would require a number of people on board with that to make that happen. But I don't know if that's too much of a pie in the sky of something to get done in a year or not, whether we could get that done in a calendar year. That makes, understand what kind of requesting would be to put a call out for, we would need a editorial board of some people with some kind of skill in that field, if we had that much interest in it.
Yeah, and I think that the easier, and we could see what happens after this, but I think the easier path that we could follow would be just looking at partner with the library then to see if we could use the existing platform that they have of their website to document things there and see if they would publish them on their website. 'Cause putting together a book obviously is a huge undertaking, but if retrospectively people said, wow, they put together a lot of stuff and it does warrant a book, then they could collect them together and make the book. But just kind of piggybacking off of what the library already has with their website might be the most feasible way to move forward.
Who would you talk to at the library about?
You'd speak with Ryan Gage.
Stephen
Ryan Gage.
Ryan Gage?
Just Ryan Gage.
Ryan Gage.
Yep.
I've met him before. But
Yep. So he's the one that writes a lot of the, and other people certainly write them too, but he's the one that's, I think, the best point person for writing those stories. And, you know, he's in the library very often and super nice guy, super knowledgeable guy that you can go and talk to about all that stuff. Also kind of easy, you know, the city of Kalamazoo as we know it today, or the white settled city of Kalamazoo didn't exist for 250 years, but I think that we can look back and use it as a platform, the semi-quincentennial, to say, like, this is an easy platform for us to hop onto and use this as an opportunity to look into the history of the city of Kalamazoo. We talked about this a little bit, Fred. And it's a good opportunity for maybe people to maybe strengthen their chops in research and writing for history, right? Of doing different stories. I don't know if everyone has experience in doing research or writing research papers of this kind, but it'd be a good opportunity for people to be able to dig in and work on this kind of stuff.
I think Pam has a question or comment.
I just had a conversation with Lynn Houghton last week about this. Sharon Carlson, who is at least the former president of the Historical Society, the Kalamazoo County Historical Society, has already talked with the county commission and they have agreed to set up some sort of a commission to address projects for the whatever it is. So that might be a good place to start to see kind of, you know, what they've discussed and what kind of ideas are being generated, and perhaps that's also a potential partnership.
I thought somebody would probably have gotten
She's
on
your
that.
neighbor.
Yeah, I figured that was being thought of
Yeah,
by somebody.
that's all I know at this point. But.
Okay.
Semi-quincentennial is a mouthful.
Semi-quincentennial.
I thought we were at the semi-sesquicentennial, but we're not. We're only at the semi-quincentennial.
Quin.
Yeah, it's like half of 5. Make some hats with that on it, right?
Won't have as much traction as the bicentennial.
I don't think it's gonna. I'm holding out for the tricentennial, so. Anything else for that one?
Something we can certainly discuss at the planning meeting. Patrick had suggested possibly us pursuing a calendar, which maybe would be separate or could be combined possibly as a possible project. I think he said his idea was finding something that was on an anniversary of every month or something. So, but obviously that would be less intensive than a pamphlet or book, I guess, but things to throw around. And obviously we have Melissa's kind of tour stuff too, which could be integrated or separate. I don't know. So many possibilities. we might have to vote on what we want to do. So we've already been doing commissioner comments. Are there any others? Otherwise, it's probably our shortest meeting of the year. Last call. Meeting adjourned at 6:31. Thank you. Happy holidays.